T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. I'm your boy MJ. This is your first time tapping in. What is good? Happy Monday. I am excited, ready to go. Do your boy a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, be a part of that notification gang. That way you're on top of every single podcast I drop here on the Trap Talk with MJ podcast YouTube channel. I'm also on Spotify. I'm also on Apple Podcast, Buzzsprout, Google Play, all the major platforms. So no matter where you hear me at, much respect, much love if you leave me a review, rate the channel, and let me know how you're liking it, man. Appreciate all the early birds in the building. Appreciate all my trappers, everyone coming back and watching Trap Talk with MJ. Appreciate all the support. You guys are amazing, man. But you guys know how we get things started here on this Trap Talk, on this podcast. Number one, frozen thawed rodent company in the game, Cold Blooded Cafe. That's it. Go to www.coldbloodedcafe.com. Place your order. $30 flat rate shipping anywhere in the United States, straight to your doorstep. Thank you, Stephen and Ashley, for your support. Stephen, God, did it again. Stephen and Desiree for your support. Appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate John and Alex over at Sim Container. If you got eggs, put them inside of a sim box. Thank me later. Less steps, less stress. If it's a sim, it's a win all day, every day. And here we go. This is what I'm trying to get to. Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. God damn, guys. I love my new room. I am pretty much there. I'm going to install 3 lights into my enclosures that aren't Focus Cube Habitats, but I want to install this same kind of a dimming color lights. That way everything is matching. And yes, I just want to say thank you so much to Stephen and Ashley. Head over to Focus Cube Habitats, go place your order, go over to Instagram, see how they do things. They're amazing. They have Q&As. They do video tours of all their builds and everything like that. So go check them out. They are the shit. Nobody is touching Stephen and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats, and that's a fact. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Shout out to Jesse and the entire Freedom Breeder crew, #1 stainless steel racks in the United States. Hella, thank you for your support, guys. I appreciate you. Cannot wait to hang out with you guys next month at Trap Fest. Shout out to my boy, Miguel Garcia, always evolving pythons, hella always inspiring. My boy right here. Please go give him a follow on Instagram. Also, subscribe to his YouTube channel, and best believe he's going to be having mad heat on Morph Market. I haven't checked to see what he has on Morph Market now, but go over there anyways. Go follow him on Morph Market because this motherfucker puts a lot of stuff out on Morph Market and it sells quick. So thank you so much, Miguel. Appreciate you for being a day one. Appreciate Tina. Appreciate the entire AEP family. Thank you for your support. Appreciate my boy Alan over at Amazing Basins. Head over to Instagram if you're into basins. And all my ball python homies out there, please go give this guy a follow as well because he has ball python stuff in the works that he will be revealing slowly but surely. Appreciate my support from my big bro Alan. And appreciate Blake Stewart over at Stewart Design. You really want to invest with the best. If you want to elevate your marketing, your brand, all the above, you need to head over to SD Identity and hit up the homie Blake Stewart over at Stewart Design. He will literally levitate your shit to a whole nother level. Look at Kabelka. Look at Garrett Hartle. Look at all the fucking big names, man. Cold Blooded Cafe. He did the logo change with Cold Blooded Cafe. Shout out to you, Blake Stewart. Big time, homie. And then shout out to Mark Bailey over at Mark Bailey Reptiles, OG, triple OG, ball python breeder, legendary in the industry, period. Please go give him a follow on Morph Market. Go check out his productions. And anything you get from this guy is going to be heat. Appreciate my boy Mark Bailey. Thank you for your support. The leaders of the industry right here, baby. Reptile Super Show, sickest show on the West Coast. Shout out to my boy Rami. Cannot wait for Anaheim and Pomona right after that. And then shout out to my boy Bob Ashley and Brian Potter over at NARBC, the Super Bowl shows. I'm telling you, man, you want to stay plugged, or if you want to get plugged, you need to go to these shows. All right, motherfuckers ain't going to come to you. I'm telling you right now. If you think that you're going to go ahead and breed some sick shit, right, and then motherfuckers are just going to come jock you, it's not going to happen. You need to go put some work. I don't give a fuck who you are. Go put in work. Don't think you're better than anyone else, and go meet people straight up. Shout out to my boy Phil Goss over at US ARC. Let's go down to the link below, and let's become a part of the US ARC team. If you're not already, please, let's join the fight. People are not going to take away our animals. You hear me? People are not going to take away our animals. The best thing to do is to back up Phil Goss. So when he goes and fights these stupid ass fucking legislations that try to be passed about us not being able to keep certain exotics and all this shit, nope, not going to happen. Let's back up Phil Goss because we are going to go to war with this shit. Thank you so much, Phil Goss. And then also thank you if you support US ARC. Cannot wait to hang out with a lot of you guys at the next US ARC auction. My boys. Wait, what am I saying? No. Please go give me a follow on Instagram, guys. I'm very active on Instagram. I got a lot of things in the works. Oh, my God. One of my green trees got out. How the hell did that happen? Uh-oh. Hold on. We got a situation. Wait. I'm so sorry, Herbert. I got to get this green tree monitored. How in the fuck did that happen? Nope. Where you at? Don't do it. All right, so here's the thing. I just got a new build. I don't know how the fuck she got out. Hold on. Give me a second. It ain't, look, oh my God. It ain't easy. Hold on. How the fuck did she get out? Right here? Bro, where did she get out of? I'm so confused. Uh-oh. All right, hold on, guys. Hang tight. I just want to make sure she can't get out again. How the fuck did she do that? All right. All right. Oh my God, what a mess. All right, we're good. Wow. I don't know how the fuck she got out. That's why I'm tripping right now. Damn, this is a reptile podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like this is now we're into some shit. Let me just keep my eyes on that and let's get things rolling. God damn it, my painting. Hold on, I gotta put this up because I won't feel right unless it's up. Oh my Lanta. All right. Where did we leave off at? Oh yeah, Instagram. Go give me a follow. You know what I'm saying? I stay active. You might see shit like that on my stories all the time. How the fuck did they get out? Anyways, please go give me a follow on Instagram, MJ Exotics Cartel with an A, not an E, and then go give the podcast Instagrams a follow as well. MJ, Trap Talk with MJ podcast. Shout out to my Twitch viewers going up. I appreciate you guys. If you would like to support this channel more than a like, subscription, or a comment, send a super chat for the homie Herbert. Let's get if you got a question that you want to go ahead and get out, I'll go ahead and put it on the big screen and I will answer it 110%. So appreciate any super chats. I appreciate any donations, man. If you guys like to send me donations, because I do this for a full-time job, living, all that shit, please send any donations you like to Exotics Cartel with an A, not an E, over to PayPal, or you could just become a part of the Trap Talk Patreon family. Shout out to all my Patreon family members. I love you guys so much. I wish one of you guys were here right now, like Matthew Summers. If you were here right now, I'd be so happy. Calvin Garcia, 2 Trap Talk Patreon members. Anyways, I appreciate all my Patreon members so much. You guys are my heart. The Trap Talk family is growing by the day. If you want more out of this podcast, if you want to get tapped in behind the scenes, if you want to know what I got planned for the future and all that shit, I tell a lot of my trappers all that shit. And you get tapped into a Discord. A lot of amazing stuff when you become a Trap Talk Patreon member. So go down to the link below, click on the Trap Talk Patreon member family, and join the family today. The homie Herbert's a part of the family. We got big homies a part of the Trap Talk Patreon family. The shit is growing, and I appreciate all the love and support. Dude, I'm so ready for this bitch to get out again. I don't even know how. But hell yeah, guys. Who is here in the building? Who just saw this go down right now? Are you guys kidding me? First time ever. This is epic. Who's here? Who's ready for the homie Herbert? 1776 Exotic, the homie Big Mike, Trap Talk Patreon fan member all day, every day. Appreciate your support. Nixon Reptiles, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Mark Anderson, what is good? Trap Talk Patreon fan member all day, every day. Bods Exotics, what is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. D's, I'm going to be looking over here quite a bit. D's Balls and Exotics, what is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Chantel, what is good? Homegirl, Team Zoo Dreams in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. And then Jay Hendo, what is good? Jay Hendo, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. AE Foundry, MJ putting in work. Come on, bro. Putting in work? That's what I do. You already know that's what I do. Been doing this for a minute, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Jake Hull, what is good? Hope your first clutch is doing well. Good evening to you. Jennifer Yordy, what up, Jennifer Yordy? Jacob, what is good? Fucking screenshot snapper story, motherfucker. Jacob Letterbetter, that's my boy. Trap Talk Patreon management, all the above is my boy. Chad 2, what is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Wise Guys, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Deviant Glass, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Eric's More Factory, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. The Big Homie, Mason Johnson, what is good? I hope your shirts are fitting pretty good, bro. Will's Hella Heat, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. The homie Sean Perry, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Christopher Sexton, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen him in a while. Thanks for tapping in, Chris. Sunshine State Sulfurs, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. The homegirl Lily. Cannot wait to hang out with you and your husband next month. This shit is going to be bracket. Oh, my God. Please go get my homegirl, Lily. Naga, I can't believe it. I hate myself. Lily, I love you. You know I love you. I'm just a big time stoner and I forget. Fulio, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Carrera's Exotics Reptiles, what is good? I'm sorry, I'm illiterate. Bods, I already said hi to you, god damn it. Austin Anderson, what is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Dom 702 Serpents Vegas in the house, what is good? The homie Josh Scales, Fins, and Feathers. By the way, both these guys, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie KC Royals in the building. What is good? The homie Family Jewels in the fucking building. What is good? Burnsy B. What is good? Thanks for tapping in. The homie Jason from Genomic Labs. Let's see who else is here. Constricted Reptiles. What is good? The homie Dale Richards in the building. The homie Brandon Howe. What is good? Let's end it with the homie, the Barber J. Love my homie. Jason Holbrook in the building, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get started before something else escapes again. All right, here we go. New breed on the block series. We got my homie Herbert from HB Reptiles. I think I've seen Herbert around the block for a minute. He's been grinding. I do know he's not anyone who's like recently just came in here in the last couple years. So either way, respect to my boy. He's tapping in, and here he is, HB Reptiles. Herbert, what is good, my homie?
What's up, MJ? How you doing?
Top of the evening. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, bro. I mean, I'm really confused. I mean, when I ask you this first question, take your time because I'm gonna go get keys and I'm gonna lock the latch that's not locked, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But before we get started, how's everything going, man? How's everything on your end? Just let us know how things are going. How's everything?
Everything's going good. Season's hopping. Hopefully be at 25 clutches this year, which is a jump from last year. We had 14, so it's a pretty big jump for us. It'll be our biggest year so far. It's got a lot of good projects in the works, but we're hoping to hit some hard odds.
Nice. Now, before we tap in real quick, Herbert, before we tap into the your most passionate and excited projects, can you remind me when it was that you really got into this with the logo and everything like that? Can you remind us and me and everyone else?
2017 was my first season. my first couple years, I didn't really have a logo or anything like that. So it wasn't until like my third season when I actually became a legit business.
Okay. And then prior to having the legit business, I mean, were you just kind of having herps or keeping reptiles just as pets, or like what was your love or connection with reptiles prior to that?
So not really. I grew up loving reptiles. You know, my story isn't much different than anybody else's. You know, went out to the woods when I was, 9, 10, 11 and found garter snakes and milk snakes and turtles and frogs and all of that. Would bring them home, throw them in aquariums, and, half the times they would get out in the house. And actually, we had a garter snake that ended up delivering in my house, and we ended up finding little baby garter snakes all over the house. It was pretty funny. That was back before I even understood, that garter snakes gave birth to live young, and had no clue what to expect. But then I took a hiatus from reptiles. Probably right around 20. I didn't have anything, and just kind of, the dreams died. As you get older, you think you can't actually do what you want to do with your life. So it wasn't until I was 28, 29 or so, when I picked up my first adult ball python. And within a week, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to breed ball pythons. That's just what I'm going to do. And the rest is history.
I'm always curious because that's such a typical thing for anybody at some point in their adulthood to kind of get the itch for this, especially if they've always had some sort of a love for the reptile. But what did you do after you got the itch? Like, what was your choice of research? How did you really start getting plugged into things?
Snake Bites TV, Brian Barczyk.
Wow.
At that time, he was really the only one that was doing really good educational stuff on YouTube. There was a couple other people, that were doing it as well, but Brian's the one that brings everybody into this industry for the most part. And it was one particular video where he talked about producing like 20,000 corn snakes or something in a season. And I had to rewind it. And I'm like, did he just say 20,000 corn snakes? And I was just like, people like legit do this as a business. And that's what I want to do. And yeah.
What's crazy is like I was even slow to the thought process of doing this with any kind of profit for money, because I was watching Barczyk's YouTube videos for like probably 2 years before I even got a female that I wanted to like actually breed, before the breeding plans even started, because I looked at Barczyk like whatever he's doing, I'm not good. I can't do that. Like I just kind of X myself out of it, because like you said, you hit a certain point where you think you can't have certain things because you have life. You have a fucking 9 to 5. You do normal things. Like not everyone has animals that they have in a rack or anything like that. It's just something that not a lot of people know about until you're tapped in, and then you're like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like a fucking goddamn bombshell in your brain. You just it's amazing. So all right, I'm curious because Barczyk obviously. Was Barczyk ever somebody you were able to call on the phone or talk to and get some mentorship, or who was, other than Barczyk, who was somebody that like you first spoke to, like, and had some sort of a friendship, mentorship with, that kind of helped you get on the right path with this?
Honestly, it was just a few local breeders that I ended up touching base with around here. And to this day, I haven't even bought a snake from Barczyk. I've met him once when I went to the Reptarium, and that was it. But yeah, just a couple local breeders is how I started, and then just watching YouTube videos and doing research online. That was pretty much how I got all of my information for the first probably 2 years or so.
And remind me what year again? I'm sorry that you really launched the HB Reptiles. Can you refresh my memory? Got a lot going on just now.
2017 was my first breeding season. Yeah.
Now I'm curious. I'm curious on what you did in the beginning, because there's a lot of different ways people like to kind of get their name out there, right? Some people like to obviously share the animals that they're raising up to kind of like build a following. Some people like to put themselves out there more and like either go to shows and like sticker swap or whatever the fuck. What did you do to kind of really start like, you know, branching yourself out there, you know, because you do know a lot of cool players in the game for sure. I've seen that. I've seen you at shows. So I'm just curious what you did in the beginning to kind of really build the following and whatnot and branch out.
So I am an introvert.
Most of us.
So it was very difficult in the beginning for me to make contacts and engage in conversations with people just because I was extremely shy and just assumed that people wouldn't want to give me the time of day. So I really just started by doing the local shows and then just meeting a lot of the vendors that were at my local shows and just trying to build a relationship that way. And then once I decided that I was really going to take this as a business and start doing it the right way, I just started messaging the big players in the game. I would just message Justin and Miguel, you know, and just, hey, will you talk to me? Will you answer my questions? And that's how my relationship started with Justin. Is I had a random female. One day I bought her as a proven female, and one day I opened her tub and she's got eggs, and I didn't produce her, and I couldn't get a hold of the person that I bought her from. I had no idea what I was expecting in those eggs. And so when they hatched, I reached out to Justin and I said, hey man, you know, I see your stuff on Instagram and whatnot, and I just had this random clutch. I was just wondering if you'd help me ID these. And he messaged back and he's like, you know, this is what I think they are. And, you know, and that was my first interaction with Justin. You know, there was no money transaction, no nothing. I didn't spend money with Justin for probably close to a year after that.
Damn. You know, what's funny is, you know, I talked about how Justin's done that for myself, you know, like and I've never bought one snake from Justin yet, obviously, because, you know, here's the thing, especially at this point in my career where I know how important certain investment ball python snakes are, and the way I just added my first basin to my collection, I could have possibly gotten a basin Emerald Tree Boa if I just wanted it from any other breeder, but the man who produced this Emerald Tree Basin is what I wanted, who I wanted to add it from. So what I'm saying is, I have not yet dropped thousands and thousands and thousands on a ball python male or female yet, but I do know once that happens, I know who I'm going to. I know exactly who I'm going to. And the thing is, I don't need to go to Justin to have his support. I don't need to, meaning I don't need to pay him. He doesn't want anything from me. You know what I mean? Justin is always showed me love. I have a story with Justin that I've shared on this podcast before. When I first started getting into wanting to vlog and do things, I was able to catch Justin at my first Pomona, and he was able to stop and talk to me for 15 minutes. Turns out my camera wasn't even on the whole time, right? So I'm like talking, and afterwards I'm like, bro, it's not recording. And like he's already taken off to the bathroom. So like, and you know, anyways, I have a lot of history with Justin and things I will never forget because how he's always treated me. And understand, this is Justin Kabelka after me seeing the emoji snake on the news, all sorts of shit. I thought this guy was going to want nothing to do with me. Like you said, I was like, why is he going to want to talk to me? I'm just another fucking idiot. You know, another guy wanting to be something that is probably not going to happen, you know, like it was just like, I don't know. And he gave me that love and respect. And, you know, throughout time, here we are still talking to each other. And, you know, I still send him pictures of things I need help IDing. And Justin will fucking really tell you how he feels. I love it. I mean, there'll be times where I'm thinking the holdback is something that he's going to be like, yeah, that's the one. And he'd be like, nah, sell that shit. You want to keep this one. Like all the time he'd refresh everything like, oh my God, I didn't even see it like that, you know? And yeah, anyways, Justin's the man. Shout out to Justin Kabelka.
Justin helped me today identify a pastel in my clutch. I had a pastel that it looked like there was something else there. It's so bright, you know, the blacks are so dark. I'm like, what was the pairing on the male I got from your brother? Because like this just doesn't look like a pastel. And he's like, I just think it's a really high quality pastel.
Yeah. It's crazy. You know, here's another good thing I love about this the ball python game, right? And I'm sure it's like this in other species of snakes, but like, you know, if you are getting a snake from a Justin Kabelka or like a fucking Levance or Miguel, somebody who's been really working with some shit, you have stuff that pops up out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like you have yellow belly that could come in, like you have hypo that could come in. You have so much shit that could potentially lead you into a whole nother route. That's like, I've seen it all the time. I talk to people all the time about it, and I'm like, wow, like, you know, like this shit proved out hypo and I had no idea, and I put it to a double head. Like, that's why it's worth investing in people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and by the way, when I want to generalize when I say, you know, I have a select handful of people I would put $20,000-$30,000 investment into, and Justin's one of them, but there are also more than just Justin out there. I just want to make that clear. But I'm very like strategic. You got to be smart about this, as you already know, Herbert. Like, you know, especially after already like knowing who's putting in work and who you could actually invest in and get a snake from, and that's the smart move you got to do. I'm curious because there's so many different directions now with people knowing that the triple and quad recessive projects are the future. Where are you at with things? And how did you start off with recessive? Was that something that came in late, or did you kind of already like add recessive from the get go?
So my very first season, I did have one recessive. It was a super pastel genetic stripe male. And I put that to a pastel and a cinnamon. So, you know, not the best plan, but it's the best that I knew of at that time.
Right.
And then after that, my second season was kind of similar. You know, a bunch of just random codoms. I had 3 super pastel females. You know, like there wasn't much variety. Just, you know, 1, 2, 3 codom mixes. It really wasn't until I heard Miguel talking about investing heavily into recessives in a podcast he did with Reptiles Unplugged at that time.
Yeah.
And that's when I completely changed my way of thinking. And I sold probably half my collection at that point and started investing more into recessives. And now I don't even look at an animal unless it's at least het for something or visual for something.
This is. Can we give a quick shout out real quick to Reptiles Unplugged, man? Can we bring them back? I want to say shout out to Joel, shout out to Adam. Adam's coming to Trap Fest next month. I can't wait. I haven't seen him in a minute, so shout out to Adam. Cannot wait to hang out with him and his wife Heather. But really, bro, if I could just say shout out to Reptiles Unplugged, because it was all that podcast is. Being on that podcast is what made me say I need to start a podcast. Okay, it all started from that fucking interview. So if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have. Maybe at some point, but it would have happened then. You know what I mean? So, you know, Joel's killing it right now. Adam has shit that he's producing right now, so they're both doing good. You know what I mean? They just, you know, it's just crazy how life happens. You know, as far as like, you know, 9 to 5 shit that just gets so busy to where, you know, it's unfortunate that you can't keep shit going like this.
Yeah, for sure.
They could be back though. I mean, shit, they can always come back.
Well, they did one a couple months ago. They did the return episode, and then that was it.
Yeah. I got to get them both on here. I think because I've had them both on here, but it'd be cool to do a round 2 with them both. I'd be sick.
That'd be great.
I miss them a lot. Those are guys right there. Okay, so if I could just real before we stop talking about Joel and Adam, I would say I was brought up with Miguel being one of my first mentors, and then Miguel introduced me to a lot of good people. Some people were like, "Well, what the fuck now?" Like, and he even admits, like, "Yeah, that person was not it." But the people who were it, people like Joel, you know what I mean? So people like Adam, those are the homies, and I miss them. People like Harry Wang. I miss Harry Wang. God damn it, Harry Wang hasn't even been on this fucking show yet. I feel mad at myself because that's a homie. So Harry Wang will be coming to this show. Best believe it's gonna be epic. Shout out to Harry Wang.
Yeah, he's a good dude too.
So, okay, other than the podcast that you've heard with Miguel, what were some really good moves you feel like you made that kind of benefited the projects that you're at right now? You know, it could either be like, I don't know, you know, a collaboration you did with somebody, or maybe meeting up with somebody, getting ideas, joining a Patreon page that helped you out. Like, what are some good moves that you really made that put you where you're at right now?
Honestly, Billy plays a big role in where I am at this very moment. Billy did a podcast last year with Jason from Morph Mixology, and he just went hard into talking about investing and like making this a real business and giving it your all. And at that time, I was struggling with my job, and I knew I was going to do this full time, but I wasn't 100% committed. And after Billy did this live with Jason, the next morning I talked to my wife and I said, what is it that we have to do? Like, what can we do? What risks can we take so that we can go all in and make this business happen? And so we took a loan against my wife's 401k, and we dropped a ton of money into animals, and that's what got me my stranger clown this year from Justin, of course. And he was a holdback, so he was already pushing 500 grams when I got him. And by breeding season last year, he was already almost 1,000 grams, and he's bred 5 girls, and 5 girls are going. So
What's your wife's name, bro?
Desiree.
Shout out to Desiree, man. Shout out to all the wives out there. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is why I said it has to be mutual. He or she needs to be on the same page as you and watch what happens. Bro, if like my wife, like there was times where she fronted the rent. Like, God damn, I had my wife crying sometimes like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, I promise you, this money's coming. You know what I mean? And bro, God damn it. If shout out to the fucking wives, man. Desiree, God damn it. Shout out to her.
For sure. She's what grounds me in this. She's the one that listens to all my crazy ideas and then either says, maybe that's not a smart idea, or, yeah, let's do that one. So she also takes care of all the rats. Her and my mother-in-law. They clean the rats.
The mother-in-law?
The mother-in-law.
Dude, you're in a good place. Herbert, you're a player.
I am. I'm blessed, man.
He's so player. This fool has his wife doing the rats, where my wife is player, but she will not get near the rats. She loves them too much, but won't feed them, right? I'm sure she would. I remember back in the day when I was doing actually breeding, she would do the water changes, and that's why I think she won't ever feed them, because she just loves them, you know? But to get the mother-in-law tapped in to help out, like, what a fucking team mentality programming type thing going on for you right now. That is epic.
For sure.
Not common, but dude, this is why I say when things land in your lap, when things are so in a place where you're like, holy shit, I could do so much, do it. That's what you're doing. Like, you figured it out, bro. Like, you definitely put your fucking man pants on and jumped off and stopped being a little pussy about it, which I understand is hard. It's really hard to go all in on something, but thank God for Billy, bro, because obviously Billy is about the money. You know, obviously he loves the snake, but this motherfucker makes his money and he teaches people how to make money, which at the end of the day, we're all grown. We want to make fucking money. I'm here to make money. Cool. We could be friends too, unless you're making money. If you're not making money, get the fuck away from me. I'm just saying. But no, listen, I want to talk more about you and Desiree because since she is invested, right, fully invested with you, what goes behind the projects as far as pairings go? Like, do you guys sit down together and plan pairings? You let her know, listen, I feel like I need this to go to this to that. We'll make this and keep that. Like, is all this decided with each other, or does she just kind of like let you do your thing with it? Like, how is that really delegated?
So generally I'll go through on my phone and I make a list of all my males, and then I make a list of all my females, and then I just start plopping them into place, you know, what I think is going to work the best. And then when I'm done, I'll hand my phone to her and I'll let her cycle through and give her, you know, opinions on, maybe I wouldn't pair that male to this female, because if we pair this female to this other male, you know, we could get this, we could get double hets or triple, you know, whatever. So yeah, we definitely work together on that. You know, she has a different mindset than I do, so it works very well to bounce opinions off of each other.
Okay. Now, what about as far as what you're doing to, let people know, because it's, at the end of the day, like, the good thing about building an organic following is when you have stuff available, you have people who've been wanting to buy your shit from you. Like, you have people who are like been waiting for this moment, right? So what are you doing? Because for instance, how many clutches did you get last year, Herbert?
Last year we did 14.
14 clutches. Okay. Now, how did you do selling majority of the 14 clutches? Like, did you do okay, or did you feel like it was no problem selling what you needed to sell?
We really didn't have a problem selling anything. Coming into this year, we had some very low end, normal hypo stuff, and we did a small wholesale order and just moved that stuff along. But honestly, I've got 3 snakes left from last year out of probably about 150 babies or so.
Wow.
So I can't complain, not one bit.
And would you give that a lot of credit to Morph Market for that, or shows? Where were you selling a lot of these snakes at?
Yeah, mostly Morph Market, a little bit of Instagram, some of the Discord groups. I sold some through there, and then a lot of the lower end stuff at the local shows. Was able to pass that stuff along.
Where are you at again? Remind me where you live, Herbert.
I'm in upstate New York. So
Damn.
about 5 hours from the city.
So you've been traveling, because I've seen you at, what shows have I ran? I ran into you at Arlington, or was it Tinley? Where have I seen
Both.
Both.
Yep.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, Herbert. Like, how much would you back me up on this when I say how important it is to go to shows? Like, I mean, am I tripping, or is that a fucking fact?
No, it's very important. Up until last year, I hadn't made it to any of the big shows, and then me and my wife, we drove to Schaumburg last summer. And Schaumburg is a good show. It's not an Arlington or a Tinley, but it's a good show.
Right.
And then we went to Arlington in the fall, and it was just amazing. Just the connections, being able to see all these people that you see on Facebook and Instagram, and just being able to talk to them in real life, going up to Justin's table and seeing his animals in real life, and, running into you, just randomly at a show, like, oh, hey, I know that guy. It's a great feeling, and it's definitely a good way of networking and making yourself known.
Now, what is your opinion, or what is your stand when trying to maybe vend at a show? Like, that's something, because you're in New York, right? So obviously, it's what can you really do much there, right? I mean, New York's a funny state with balls, right? Am I correct?
Ball pythons are totally legal pretty much everywhere in New York. I think in the city there's some restrictions,
right,
in some places. But we actually have quite a few shows in New York. We typically vend 3 different shows in the spring and 3 in the fall. And there's probably another, 3 to 5 more that we don't vend just in New York.
Wow. What about outside of New York? Do you travel? Like, what's the furthest you'll go for a show?
Right now, we only do the New York shows. I'm hoping to vend Tinley this fall. I have an in with one of the local breeders here who has a table at Tinley. So he might be sharing a table with me, or letting me share a table with him at this fall Tinley if I'm not able to get my own.
Oh, see, that's crucial. I mean, that's the beauty about having homies who've been doing this for a while. Like, you have, more likely some space at their table that they'll hook you up at, which is awesome.
Right.
It's also not cheap either. If you really invest in just going for by yourself, all that tables, those fees, that shit adds up pretty quick.
It's true.
So, other than shows and whatnot, I want to see what exactly you have planned as far as this year with the production side of things. How many clutches are we looking at, best case scenario, if everything goes your way this year?
Right now, I am at 23 total ovulations. I have 1 female that should be ovulating any day, and I'm hoping for 1 more. 25 is my goal for the year. And I've got 3 females that are building. So I'm hoping one of them goes and gets me to 25. I'll be happy.
Now, are you looking for more holdbacks? Or are you looking for more, money to make to buy the snake you want? Like, what are you really looking for out of each clutch?
Both right now. I've got some clutches that are more money clutches, and then I've got a lot of stuff that I'm hoping I can hold back this year.
Okay.
I'm honestly looking at probably about 50 holdbacks this year. That's my goal.
Right. Now, are you kind of already masterminding what you would like to invest in? Like, let's say you get money from the clutches that you're going to produce this year, right? And you take the money that you need for your own finances, whatever. But what about if you had money to invest in that next snake? I mean, are you looking to add a female, or are you looking to add a male? Like, what is actually on the agenda as far as adding the next ball python?
Looking at a couple males and a bunch of females. I've already got a bunch of stuff that I'm already looking at. I keep track when I see people's pairings on Instagram or in Discords. I have a separate note in my phone where I keep track of who's doing what, so I can get back in touch with them and get the animals that I want. Will's got a really crazy clutch potentially going this year that I'm hoping to get a really good male from, if you'll sell it to me.
Will's an animal. That's all I gotta say.
He is. He said if he got a male, he'd sell it. So we'll see.
I'll give you a male, you peasant. Talk about being on your own throne with shit, bro. That's why it's like, man, Will's like this on top of all his heat, and it's like, you know, he has building on buildings. You know, he's just doing mad shit. I love. Like, the thing is, Will has not unleashed anything yet. Like, Will is on some sort of hoarding mission to prove out projects that he wants numbers behind. I feel like he just doesn't want to get lucky with one or two. I feel like he wants numbers behind these fucking things that he's hitting. I can only assume, you know. I don't. Yeah. You know, I'm going to be talking to personally next month. I can't wait. But yeah, man, I got to say, shout out to Will Moros. He was in the building just now, so I know he's watching. So shout out to Nomi Will. I want to talk about some of the trial and errors that you might have had. Some people don't have any trial and errors with ball pythons, but what are some things that really kind of maybe held you back? Maybe not too much, but maybe some things you were kind of late on picking up on that you can maybe talk about.
Yeah, the codoms. Having too many codoms and not enough recessives. If I had that information at the start and realized that I could have invested the same amount of money, the first year that I got into this, and bought 5 females and 1 or 2 males and made more money than I did with having 20 animals that were mostly codoms, I would be in a completely different place than I am now. So yeah, that's a big one. Just getting the right information.
Were you ever in a position where you had to sell a lot of snakes that you knew just didn't make sense at one point? I mean, or are you heading there now? Or let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I'm still in that process. Basically still paying for the sins from the beginning. After year 2, I sold almost every single codom animal that I had, and only had stuff that was, a single codom and a het, or, even just a het. Like, I still have some just het females that I'm still just trying to filter out as I produce better and better animals. This year I'm going to be letting go of a whole bunch of males and females that are, one codom visual, or just normal hets, just constantly upgrading my collection.
Right.
That's key.
So you're basically only wanting, when it comes to your males, they're going to be at minimum double recessive is what you're saying.
For the most part, yeah. Just depends on the project.
Now let's kind of talk about some of the projects that you're most excited about this year. What are some of your high hopes? Something that you're really shooting for.
Ultramel. Ultramel is
Ultramel or what?
So Ultramel clown stuff is the direction that I'm ultimately trying to take my collection. I've got 2 shots to get an Ultramel clown this year. My female that's about to ovulate is a pastel double het Ultramel clown, and she was bred by my pastel Ultramel het clown. Both of those from Marshall Mendez. Big shout out to him. Marshall's
I was gonna say. I wonder who he's investing with. 'Cause he's in a good place. So good job on that.
Yeah, for sure. I saw the Ultramel clown on Morph Market from Marshall a couple years ago, and I said, okay, yep, that's the direction I want to go, hands down. And so I've gotten a few pairings this year to try to get some more double het Ultramel Clown stuff with some other codoms in it, try to expand that further. The Stranger stuff, that is a big thing this year. Trying to work that into some other recessives. I'll have double het, hopefully Stranger double het Hypo Clown stuff this year.
Damn.
My Ultramel female, unfortunately, is not going to be sired by the Stranger Clown. I was hoping for double hets there, but he stopped eating, stopped breeding, so he's shelved for the season, unfortunately.
Good call on
But,
that. It is what it is.
Yep. Keep him moving next year.
Yep. Now, the Stranger Clown, man, I mean, listen, Stranger is one thing I'm just like, whew, I feel bad for not even like doing it, you know, but it's also kind of like, how'd you know? You know, I didn't really tap into Stranger until I started this podcast, and then I was just like, holy wow. So, who did you get your Stranger from? Justin, right? Stranger
Yes.
Clown? Okay. With that Stranger being your codom, right? What is your overall mission behind the project with the Stranger? Are you looking to just having that only be the only codom and not adding no more codoms and only nothing but recessives on top of it? Or will you eventually have some sort of project where another codom will come and add to the Stranger?
So definitely add more codoms to it as well. My ultimate goal for Stranger this year is I've got that male. He's technically a pastel coral glow Stranger Clown, 50% het monsoon. He is breeding my fire red stripe yellow belly het clown. So I'm hoping to get a good male from that. The Stranger Clown, because he's a coral glow, he's a female maker. So I'm hoping to get a really good solid male from that clutch that I can move forward with.
I mean, have you seen any examples out there with some combos with Stranger, like other codom combos that you're really admiring? Like, what do you know goes really good with Stranger?
Stranger and red stripe go really good together.
Sick.
I'm not really sure about codoms. There really hasn't been a lot made. A lot of pastel, a lot of super pastel. My first Stranger clutch, I got a whole bunch of that, pastel and super pastel, trying to wean that out and try to get some good mix of other things in there.
Right.
It's really just the recessives that I'm really trying to get this year. If I can get the good codom base and then take that male and then get it into a bunch of recessives, I think we're going to start seeing some crazy stuff.
Right. Now, at the end of the day, like, what's your game plan behind staying on top of, like, you know, because you could be potentially be making some stuff that isn't out on the market. Like, there's no prices out there, right? So, what do you feel like your game plan is going to be when it comes to you pricing stuff that's not even out there right now?
That's when I messaged Justin. That's why it's good to have all these people in your back pocket and build these relationships.
Yeah.
You can reach out to Justin, and I've reached out to Will. Will helped me price a clutch already this year, and it's very good to have those people that you have those bonds with, that you can ask questions like that too.
Now, I'm also curious, Herbert, we've been around the same time, and I'm just curious on how soon did you invest into the professional rack systems and stuff? Like, how long did you wait until you did all that?
I think my third season, I think, is when I got my first ARS rack. Before that, it was all melamine racks, all handmade.
Handmade, right. One thing I can't stress is telling people how if you could do it yourself, and make something that is suitable, and you understand, ball pythons don't need anything crazy. You obviously got to make it escape proof. It has to be good wood. It does have to have good electrical going with the tape. So there are those things that you need to cover, but you don't got to be a fucking freedom breeder rack or an ARS rack or whatever the hell. Like, and I feel like you should, like Will always said, and I agree on this, is really letting your production pay for all that shit at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all of my hatchling racks, they're all still melamine racks. I have one holdback rack that's a sea serpent, and that's it. All of my grow out stuff. They're all melamine racks still.
No, I know things are a lot different nowadays, but how long did you wait for your racks? Do you remember like what the average wait time back in?
My first one, I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks. It wasn't long. My most recent Freedom Breeder rack, I got that, I think like September of last year, and I ordered it in March or April. So that was roughly 20 weeks, 22 weeks before I got it. It was worth it though.
It's worth it. Listen, I mean, I'm sitting in my room in my dream room basically with all my new caging, and I waited 6 fucking months for this shit. You know what I mean? And dude, it's worth it. You know, and even doing the work. You know, these got shipped, stacked on a pallet, unbuilt, and I had to build all these individually. And fuck, like I said, all I could tell myself was, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's a real test too, man. Because you know, I do have so much on my plate where I can manage it if it's just taking care of the animals. But if there's a lot of other shit that takes away my day from the animals, and this shit, my animal chores could overflow really, really, really quick. And then I stress out because I want to get the builds done, but then I'm like, I totally forgot about the hatching rack. And you know, super dwarf tick hatchlings are fucking messy, bro. They are not no walk in the park. And if you neglect them for just one day, you're gonna have issues, you know. So anyways, you know, it really kind of tests you, but I love it. You know, I wouldn't want no other life. I can tell you that much right now.
Yep, me neither.
What does Desiree, your wife, do for a living? Does she have like a 9 to 5 and shit like that she does, or what does she got going on?
Yep, she's actually a veterinary technician. She's been doing that for, I think, 17 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's come in handy a lot with this line of work for sure.
Veterinary and tech. Why didn't you mention that in the beginning?
I don't know.
Dude, that's another player fucking, god damn it. Like, that's huge. Like, to have your better half to be a vet tech, like, dude, man, that is epic. And I'm sure that probably had a big influence on why she was down to invest with you, because she's already in love with the animals. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Damn.
Yep. Makes ultrasounding a breeze too.
Oh my god. Okay, ultrasounding.
She already knows what she's doing.
I mean, since your wife was a vet, since your wife works in the veterinarian field, did she get you a ultrasound right off the bat, or did she just go use her ultrasound at the vet? What do you guys do?
So our very first season, we just brought him in, and we had one of the doctors there ultrasound and kind of show us what to do and whatnot. And then a couple of years ago, we just decided to buy our own ultrasound. You know, once we got to the point, you know, our second year, we produced like 17 clutches, and, you know, we didn't want to be bringing, you know, 25, 30 females, you know, to the vet's office to be ultrasounding. So we just kind of skipped it for a couple of years, you know, and just tried to palpate, which I can't do. And, you know, basically just see if the females go. And then a couple of years ago, we went and bought our own ultrasound, and yeah, it's wonderful.
And how are you utilizing the ultrasound to this day? Like, how is it implemented with your scheduling, with working with the animals? I mean, do you have a certain day where you bust it out and whatnot?
Yeah, so we ultrasound every 3 weeks, just so then if we see a female start building, we catch it immediately, just in case the female is not on our season. You know, typically we would breed, you know, November and December, you know, that would be the start of our breeding season. But with the ultrasound, if the female starts developing follicles in July, we'll know immediately, and then we can determine whether or not we can put the male that we chose to go to her, or if we need to use a backup male or something, so that we don't lose out on the opportunity of her producing a clutch for us.
Okay. I mean, it's crazy because I'm so back and forth, Herbert. Like, I'll be like, fuck the ultrasound. I want to be surprised. But no, when you really want to get shit done and you really want answers, that ultrasound's your fucking key for everything. You know what I mean? And also the fact that if you do it every 3 weeks, you never know when a girl is just going to start building out of nowhere. Like, they kind of just spur out of the moment type thing sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could tell you what, like, the caging, all this fucking freedom breeder shit, focus cube shit that I add definitely fucking ripped my dick off. Like, it was a lot of money. Okay. but I do want an ultrasound. I'm ready to get an ultrasound. The thing is, I don't want to get that fucking big boxy rolling on a cart ultrasound thing. I want that butterfly ink one. It's like $3,500, but I really want it. Don't tell me you have it. If you have it, I'm gonna lose my mind.
That's our ultrasound.
Okay, that's tight. See, that's
It's a little laptop. Now, the one thing that a lot of people don't like about it is that it doesn't have a foot pedal.
right.
But
I mean,
if you're ultrasounding with 2 people, it's not a big deal.
right. I guess that is. I can see how the foot pedal could be crucial, especially if you're by yourself. Because it is. I mean, you know, you understand a lot of these snakes don't like to sit still. You know what I mean? And it's really difficult to do it by yourself sometimes. That foot pedal. And I don't think that foot pedal is for the phone. Because I don't know if you heard of the butterfly ink one, but the butterfly ink one hooks up to your phone. And you could actually see everything. And you could just, you know, click the volume button and it snapshots it or whatever the fuck, you know. But the foot pedal thing, I think, because it's so frustrating when you're doing it by yourself and you know, you're like, holy shit, you know what I mean? And you need that right shot. And I feel like that foot pedal thing could be like super important, but I don't know. In your case, you're good because you have your wife. So, and I'm sure my wife could help me too. She liked that kind of thing. So I guess the foot pedal isn't necessary unless you're just a complete loner and you got no friends.
Yes, definitely.
And you're gonna want that foot pedal.
Yeah.
Dude, rodents. Let's talk about the rodent game. What are you doing to provide rodents for your collection?
So we breed all of our own.
Woo! Oh, that's right.
100% right now.
Okay. And how much is the production for your own collection, and how much are you maybe like selling to some people local? Do you do any of that, or is everything just for your collection?
Currently, we are selling. It's probably going to start coming to an end now that we have a ton of babies coming out. But throughout the winter months, we're able to sell to a couple people, and we're able to pay for our rat food just from making those sales. So we basically feed our snakes for free, which is awesome.
Damn, crucial.
Yeah.
And the rat chores, you know, I know your wife handles that. What is that like? Do you guys do that once a week, or how's that delegated?
Yep, every Monday night, her and my mother-in-law, they clean, and while they're doing that, I feed the snakes. Makes it easier for them because I take a lot of the rats out of the grow-out tubs, which makes it easier for them to clean.
So that's
a nice little system.
That's how you do it. I swear to God, I would have to be like, hey, babe, listen, I would do the rats, but that means you'd have to feed them. And she'd be like, fuck feeding them. I'd rather just clean them. That is so smart. I need a mentally, because listen, at the end of the day, I could potentially be breeding my own rats again. I fucking dreading that day. God, it's so much work. But it could potentially happen depending if I move or some shit like that. And I do know I would need help. And I don't know. I will definitely take that and put that in the fucking back of my head. And now, there's so many different ways of getting hatchlings started as far as what to offer them, ASFs, mice, rats. What's your choice? What do you like to go when it comes to feeding your hatchlings?
I try to start them all on just regular rats. I start them on fuzzies. And then if they don't eat for a couple weeks, then I'll throw an ASF in there and try to get them eating those for a couple weeks. And then I try switching back over to regular rats again. And usually that works perfectly fine.
And then, you know, I don't know. I don't really ask this question, and I feel like it's important. How quickly do you go from first shed to offering a meal? Like, is it that day? Do you wait a couple of days? What do you like to do?
I wait at least 3 or 4 days.
Smart.
So because we feed on Monday nights, we don't change that for anything.
So if they happen to shed on a Sunday and they're not going to eat Monday because you like to wait 3-4 days is what you're saying?
Right. Yep. They'll wait a whole solid week until I feed again. And which is perfectly fine because they've got enough yolk in them anyways that they're not really looking for food that quickly. I just pulled a clutch out of the incubator today and set them up, and tonight's feeding night. I didn't offer any of them meals. They'll wait till next week.
I think people kind of forget that, you know, that any snake that absorbs yolk out of the egg and is born and it's good for a few weeks. Like, it's not malnourished or anything. And that's why I don't understand why people resort to assist feeding or force feeding a ball python after 3-4 weeks. after its first shed. I'm like, I don't know if, like, maybe switch it up or find something else or just wait. But I don't think you need to go straight to fucking shoving it down its throat. I mean, even though they turn around that way, but I don't know. I just I think with chondros, if you I do know with chondros, if you rush that shit, it's never gonna be the snake you want it to be. So I don't know. Have you had to run into that yet? Have you had to assist feed or force feed anything yet?
Yeah, usually every season we end up having to assist feed a couple. It's usually after 5-6 weeks. And I'll try mice as a last resort. I hate feeding mice, but if it comes to that, I will. And if they don't take a mouse, then I know it's time to assist feed because there's really no other options.
Yeah, it's true. There is actually another option. You want to know what it is? And I think I'm going to use it this year. If I have a ball python that, and like I said, this is rare that I have this. Usually all my ball pythons smash food. But if I do have a ball python that is that going that direction where it doesn't want anything, I'm going to offer it a day one old quail. I'm going to go quail, bro. I don't give a fuck. I feel like we're fucking up here. I feel like too many people are overlooking the bird as a diet, here and there. It doesn't hurt. You understand, especially feeding something rat after rat after rat after rat. You know how fucking fattening a rat is? You know what I'm saying? So giving it something that's not as hardcore, that's like literally eating a number 7 from Jack in the Box, fucking extra large every day with a shake. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit. That sounds luxurious. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but even if I eat like that, god damn, did it get out? It did get out. What is happening, bro? I need to figure this out. Hold on one second. This is nuts. I don't know why this is fucking happening. I don't know where it's getting out of. Hold on one. Okay. Real quick. I'm curious. Other than the ball pythons, do you have anything project-wise that you're working on or anything that you're excited for?
Yes. So I just picked up 4 dragon snakes. So that's something that I'm very passionate about right now. I wanted a dragon snake for a couple years, but just was concerned at how tough they are to keep. So I just didn't want to pursue that. Plus getting food for them because they're primarily fish eaters, tadpole eaters, frog eaters. So it just wasn't something that I wanted to try. But we did end up picking up some about a month ago. And they're actually doing really good. They're still kind of in a quarantine type setup right now. On my kitchen table. That's our quarantine spot. Last night we actually got them all to eat tadpoles, which was amazing. So we'll see.
So the dragon snake, how did you even get tapped into the dragon snake? Because I also love that snake, but it's definitely like a unique snake. Not easy to keep, definitely not easy to breed. But what was it that led you to the dragon snake?
Just seeing pictures of it on Instagram. I've just been following them for a long time, and then I ran across Scarlet Nightshade, who she's probably the most well-known person that works with dragon snakes, and I followed all of her stuff for probably close to a year now, and yeah, they're just a fascinating species, just so unlike anything else.
I'm curious because I kind of go hard on this, and I don't mean to like shove this down people's throat, but wouldn't you agree that it's why, if you have the space, mental space, room space, if you're just working with one species to add something else, don't you feel like that's a smart move?
I think even if you don't have the space, you should. I don't have the space, but yet I still do. I mean, my quarantine spot is on my kitchen table, so.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. I call it giving back to the industry. If I'm able to make money on ball pythons, I should be doing something to benefit the actual industry itself. And, that's kind of where my passion is with the dragon snakes. You think about how many hundreds, maybe even thousands have been brought into the U.S. And the standard thing is most of them don't even last a year. So we're just bringing these animals into the U.S. and they're just dying.
Right.
So if we can take the money aspect out of it and just say, listen, we're just going to figure dragon snakes out, and we don't care about the financial cost of it. We're going to give it whatever food that it wants or whatever care that it needs. And someday we're going to produce viable eggs and start producing some captive bred babies. You know, I think that should be the goal of everyone that earns a paycheck off of animals in general.
Now, I got to ask you, Herbert, what is your protocol for quarantine right now? If you were to add any kind of species to your collection, what do you do for protocol? What do you do for quarantine?
So it depends who I'm buying from. If I'm buying from like Justin or Ozzy or people like that I know have pristine collections, I bring them right into my collection. If it's somebody that I don't know, then they go through a quarantine process. Hence,
right.
Like the dragon snakes, since obviously they're imported, you know, they're not going anywhere near my collection. Hence the kitchen table. And they're treated for mites. And we are trying to get a stool sample from them so my wife can take it to work and actually test for parasites and all of that stuff too, so we can get that taken care of.
Okay.
And now that Nido is a big thing, that's something that we're going to start implementing as well. Probably every time that we get snake in the collection.
What did you just say?
Yeah. Levant's in the house.
Levant, shout to Levant or Wesley or Deuce. Either one. Doesn't matter. Straight fire in the building. Appreciate you guys. Mad love and respect to that family. But Nido, bro, holy shit. Okay, listen, I try not to laugh at it, but it's kind of funny how a lot of fucking brand new people are to Nido, especially people who've been in this industry for a long time. I don't know if they're pretending to act like, oh, I didn't know. But come on, get the fuck out of here, man. If you've been in this game from like 2015 prior, you know goddamn well, you know, Nido's around. It's not going anywhere. It's always going to be around. But what is your do you feel like you're ever going to make an adjustment when it comes to you letting go of snakes? Are you already selling snakes with Nido tests? Do you ever feel like that's ever going to be something that you implement?
Hopefully not. If somebody asks for it, I would probably do it as long as they paid for it. The way that I feel about it is, unless your collection is having constant issues where you constantly have animals that are sick, I don't think it's a high risk. You know, in my 5 years of breeding, I've had 3 known RIs, and I've been able to treat them all, and every animal has recovered. So, do I think my collection is at risk for Nido in and of itself? No, I think Nido is kind of just become the boogeyman, where it's just gotten a little bit hyped over the past month, we'll say. But I think just to be cautious, any animal that I get in now, I will start testing them, just so then I can say any animal that I'm currently bringing into the collection is tested. If it comes back positive, I can deal with it accordingly. If it comes back negative, great, we move on as usual. I think there's so many things out there that we don't even know. I mean, there's so many reptile-related sicknesses that we're really just focusing on one thing at a time. You know, it's like right now, Nido. Everyone's talking about Nido. Well, what about I'm not a vet tech, so my wife's going to be shaking her head. But what about these microplasms or whatever these things are? There's so many other things that nobody talks about. Right. So it's just, I'm very cautious when things start getting focused on. One scenario happens and all of a sudden now Nido is the topic. Now Nido is the big scary thing and everybody needs to be testing all of their animals. Like, stuff like that is just like, okay, where's the reality in this? No one can even say. I've asked multiple big breeders, let's say you test your collection. Let's say 20 to 25% of your collection tests positive. Well, then what? What do you do? No one has an answer for me. Are you're going to go through and just kill all of those animals because they tested positive? Even if they are asymptomatic, they show no symptoms whatsoever. They're healthy breeders. They've given you 5 clutches.
You want to know what I would do?
Please tell me.
So if I had a room, let's say the trap, right? For instance, let's say the trap, I had snake that came back with Nido, right? For one thing, I'm not testing that entire room. You go kiss my ass, okay? First off, I'll let you know that, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to treat that snake as I need to treat it, right? It's going to be separated from that room. Does it mean I need to kill it? No, I don't need to kill it. Do I need to breed it? No, I don't need to breed it. Do I need it around other animals? No, I definitely don't need it around animals. There are options for it. You can find somebody to rehome it who doesn't have any animals. I'm just saying there are things for it, or you could just isolate it for the time being. But there's a lot of other options besides just killing it, right?
Right.
Then another thing, if for whatever reason, whatever in that room has Nido, I won't test it, right? But guess what? That room is closed off, meaning nothing else is being added to this room. Whatever's produced in that room will then be removed and have its own, meaning I already have a hatching room that's away from both rooms. So what we know, there is no proof that any parents that are positive with Nido pass it down to the babies and they're born with Nido. From what we know, it's not, they're born clean, right? So
right.
I were in that position, right? And like somebody made it a fucking goddamn advertisement, like they're on FBI, Facebook and shit like that. Well, dude, you have to own it. If you can't hide from it, you can't deny it. You have to own it and you have to adjust. But here's the thing, bro. I don't have 2,000 snakes. I don't have 1,000 snakes. I have a couple hundred snakes, which is still a lot of snakes, right? But it's not like, I just don't know what a big breeder would do. Like what a fucking mass production breeder would do. I know what they would do. You want to know what they would do? Nothing. Nothing at all. They're going to be smart about it for the most part. Some won't be. You'll find out the ones who aren't smart. But for the most part, they're going to be smart about it. They're going to produce snakes that don't have Nido. They're going to sell those snakes. And I'm sure they're not dumb enough, or I hope they're not dumb enough to sell a snake that is sick, like a snake that has been a breeder and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, this, bro, Nido has been in people's collection for years. People are just experts at hiding it now. There are, here's the thing, dude, I'll to you, Herbert. That's my collection. That is my collection. If my collection has Nido, that's my problem. That's not your problem. That's my problem. I'm not selling you any snake from there. That's my fucking problem. But at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to own the responsibility of taking care of that shit, not letting it get out, not letting it be exposed, and talking about it. You have to own it.
Right.
The thing is, nobody will ever own it. The only reason why I would own it is because I really, truly believe that it will wipe out. I don't have a massive collection, so I feel like if that isn't addressed and you let this shit add up, it will wipe out a small collection easily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
sure.
You just have to address it, bro. Like, you just have to be on top of your fucking protocols. I have about 50 swabs. If I really wanted to, I could start testing my ball pythons, but I don't want to. I don't, for what reason? Nothing sick. I mean, I will test something as it shows a symptom. If something comes up, something has RI, I'm 100%. I'm going to test the shit out of it. You know what I mean? But that's it. Like, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to go make some other fucking Nancy or fucking Karen happy and let them know, hey guys, I test all my collection. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? I mean, you being a consumer can request whatever you want. If you're requesting a Nido test and you're dropping $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, fuck it. Okay. I mean, if you're selling a snake that expensive, you shouldn't care about doing a Nido test at all. First off, okay, if you're a breeder out there and you're about to fucking sell a 5K snake to somebody, I would feel like a part of the package would be awesome of a document of a fucking investment that expensive saying, hey, guess what? I have no Nido. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel like if you're making that much money, bro, don't be cheap. Like I think that's what I'm gonna do for sure. If I sell anything at a high value mark, I will definitely. Why not? Like just to back myself up. Why not? You know,
right? I mean? So, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm curious about what your take is about. I mean, as far as it seems like you're going the right direction on the double recessive plants, but what is your really thought about ball python guys who are just under the $1,000 mark, you know, and selling to that? Do you feel like that market will never die? Do you feel like that will always still be around and always be able to you know, sell, like the lower stuff will be able to be sold, or do you feel like lower stuff is getting harder and harder to sell now?
I think it always will be able to be sold, but I do think it is getting harder. You know, you're seeing a lot of the single recessives, you know, clowns and pieds and hypos, like they're getting cheaper and cheaper by themselves. So why would somebody want to buy a pastel yellow belly for $100 when they can get a clown, you know, a visual recessive animal for $200?
Right.
So I think that codom only market, it's going to become harder and harder to sell for sure. People need to move with the advancement of the industry, or you will get left behind.
I mean, other than that, like, what are your thoughts about, you know, because, you know, I people who've been tapped into this game, you know, have global sales. Like, they sell everywhere. You know, like, you got Justin that sells to almost every country you can think of that will take a ball python in, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a strategy or a plan to kind of target outside of the U.S. markets at all? Like, you know, obviously there's Canada, shop in Canada. I do kind of see Canada as a part of us. I don't really see Canada as like something like Mexico, right? Like, look what we go with Mexico, right?
It's fantastic.
I want to get your take on that. Do you ever feel like you eventually would like to attract some sort of customer base from those countries?
Yeah, for sure. I thought about it for this year. Now that I'm going to be producing higher value animals, that I might not have a choice but to send them internationally. Mm-hmm. And I think it is something good to do once you reach that, you know, that size where you're producing higher quality animals like that, you know, you do want to branch out and open up your market. You know, if you're producing $500 animals, it's probably not worth it, you know, to be shipping to, you know, South Korea, you know, shipping a $500 animal and, you know, $400 shipping or whatever it is, you know, it's not worth it. But yeah, that's something that I am entertaining for this year. I'm definitely a little nervous about shipping overseas, but you know,
let's talk about let's talk about how nerve-wracking it is to ship anything, bro. Like, it's scary. I hate it. I feel like I get lucky a lot. I have had some close calls. Nothing DOA. I don't even know why I'm saying this. God damn it. But nothing DOA, right? Thank God. But what's your? I mean, do you feel like shipping is going to get even harder and harder? I feel like it is, man. I feel like our biggest challenge in this industry at some point is going to be the shipping. Scary to say, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I hope not. FedEx is they're really it. You know, UPS does a little bit, but FedEx is the bulk of who we ship through. It kills me when I see negative posts on Instagram, you know, with FedEx tagged in them, you know, complaining about FedEx, you know, destroying a box or whatever. Like, I get it, it sucks, but they can just easily drop us and just say, you know what, we're not going to ship live animals anymore. You know, so we need to be nice to them.
Especially because a lot of people like only live by one FedEx. You know, you got to understand, like, there's these hub stations are pretty, you know, selective, and I don't know, man. If it wasn't for these hub stations, I feel like, you know, there would be a lot more DOAs and shit like that. You know, and you know, if I do say respect to FedEx. I've lately have been going a different route. I don't know how it would be moving forward, but I do know when it comes to shipping the big snakes, this is my go-to, and that's Delta. I go Delta a lot, and it seems to be working. You know what I mean? So I don't know how anyone else out there feels about Delta. Have you used Delta before?
No.
If you have a big shipment, like let's say you have a fucking tote full of snakes, use Delta. Watch how smooth it is. Okay, first off, it's only going to be like $80 for, like, I'm talking like a 50-pound tote full of snakes. Okay, which is a lot of snakes.
Wow.
Or a big retic, right? But anyways, Delta, and you're going through an airline too. You know what I mean? Not to say that they're more classy or more, you know. I mean, Delta has, I'm sure, fucked up employees too, just like anywhere else. But I don't know. I've had a lot of success with Delta, man. So anyone out there who wants another option other than FedEx or UPS, because I don't think UPS does live animals, right? So you can't do UPS from what I understand.
They do. I know some people in Florida ship through them.
Really?
I've gotten a few animals shipped from UPS.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, either way, scary stuff. You know, I've been a while since I've heard any horror stories, but man, I've definitely seen some stories about packages being lost and whatnot.
Yeah.
Other than that, let's see. What is your what's your overall take as far as the shows going this year? I mean, you got plan on going to Arlington in September. You're going to go to Anaheim, Pomona. Like, what are your main goals for the shows this year?
Right now, we're definitely going to Tinley. Arlington is a maybe. It's on the same day as one of our local shows. So we may decide to do our local show because this is going to be the last year we're probably going to do our local shows. It's too much work to do our local shows, and most of the people that are there are just looking for low end animals.
Right.
So there's not a lot of value in it for us. But we may try to just finish out this season. We already have the shows paid for, our tables paid for. So we may just finish that out this year. So we may skip Arlington and pick that up again next year. But we'll definitely be at Tinley.
All right, my man. Well, listen, I have a wrap-up question before we get into some hot seat questions, okay?
All right.
I'm just curious about the overall reality of being a full-time ball python breeder. What is your take on that being a possibility versus it being what some seem to be saying a pyramid scheme? You really have people out there who saying it's like something that's set not to really be. But I want to know, obviously, and don't be biased because you're already in it full time, but I'm serious. Like, average person, I'm talking about anyone coming in. Do you feel like an average person would be able to do this full time and just breeding ball pythons and nothing else?
100%. I mean, I was an average person. I'm still an average person.
Not after being on this show, motherfucker.
I'm slightly above average. I mean, I came into this with no money. Literally, when I decided I was going to breed ball pythons, I didn't have a job. So I started buying ball pythons, and I just slowly grew my collection year after year and just put every bit of money that I could into the business and made smart decisions. Choose your pairings wisely. You don't have to go buy two $5,000 snakes to make a good clutch. You can buy a $600 female, and you can buy a $1,000 male, and you can make a $15,000, $20,000 clutch. It's just about being smart and choosing your animals wisely. Anybody can do it. It just takes hard work.
Patience, man. I feel like I feel like a part of hard work, like, it's hard to be patient, and I feel like that's hard work. You know what I'm saying? So understand that if being patient seems to be difficult, it's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to burn. But man, this is a game of no shortcuts, bro. Take a shortcut.
Yep.
Watch. I'm telling you right now.
Nobody cares. Work harder.
The fuck, bro.
That's my motto.
Listen, nobody cares about your fucking 1 million view reel, you fucking clown. Show me what you're producing. Here's the thing. Nothing against anybody who has viral reels, but that's not a skill to me. To me, that's not a fucking skill, because if you go to a reptile show, they don't even know you, okay? For one thing, what are you doing behind these animals, okay? Other than fucking promoting it and making it look cool, which is awesome, what the fuck are you doing with the animal? That's what I respect, first and foremost. But, okay, cool. Go back to your reels and go make fucking viral reels. But to me personally, and to a lot of my other homies, that ain't shit. So stop thinking you're cool with your reels. God damn it. Sorry. Work harder.
I've never even made a reel.
Hey, Herbert started it by wearing that shirt. I love. Hey, can I get that shirt, please? What's good? Are you selling them? Does it say HV on the back? What's good with that?
No, it's not mine. I just bought it.
Oh, you need to customize it so it's your shirt. I feel like you need to rock that saying. It definitely fits for not only the podcast but for the whole episode. Good shit.
I'll do that.
All right. Listen, good shit, bro. I appreciate this. Hot seat questions, okay, before we let you head out. You know how these work. No explanation, okay, my man.
All right.
Fire, you hear me? Hot seat questions for the homie HP Reptiles coming in hot. You ready, Herbert?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 8 cut or no cut?
Cut.
On what day?
Oh, boy. Day 50.
Whoa! I love it! People getting excited. They're going to get excited in the chat. Day 50. Okay. Frozen thought or live?
Live.
Red chondro Neo or yellow chondro Neo?
Red.
Pre-first shed meal or post-first shed meal?
Post.
Yay imports or boo imports?
Yay.
One reptile you would import from around the world, any reptile, what would it be?
Borneo earless lizard.
Dude.
Monitor. Earless monitor.
Can you pound that real quick? Thank you. That was so hard. I want one of those so bad. Very, very rare species, but lizard. Thank you.
So cool.
One reptile nobody should ever import ever again. Leave it alone. Don't touch it.
Oh, man. Sulcata tortoise.
Leave the turtles alone. God damn it. Yay sports or boo sports?
Boo.
Big flexor or no flexor?
I'm a flexor.
Let's go! Love it. Big flexor, motherfucker. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Boo.
9 Inch Nails or Marilyn Manson?
Neither.
Jesus, you're terrible. You have to pick one, bro. Stop it. Just pick one.
I couldn't even tell you a song from either of them.
Okay, but like, let's just say it came down to you saving one of their lives. Which one would you save?
We'll go with Maryland just because he's crazy looking.
That's cool. Okay, favorite genre of music. How about that? Let's hear this. What's your favorite genre of music?
Rock.
Rock. Okay, Metallica or AC/DC. How about that?
I don't even listen to either of them.
What, is it classic? Okay, what are we? Country rock? What rock are we talking about here? Can you just remind me?
Let's go like Linkin Park.
Oh, that's not rock. That's alternative. Okay, hold on. All right. All right. Hold on.
All right, how about Breaking Benjamin?
No, that's good. No, hold on. I like the Linkin Park genre, but let me think. Okay, here we go. Limp Bizkit or Kid Rock?
Couldn't tell you.
Dude, I'm confused. That's like Linkin Park genre. Okay, we're just gonna skip the music. Okay, how about that?
I've only been listening to rock for like 10 years.
What's your favorite rock band? Can you tell me your favorite rock band?
Breaking Benjamin.
Breaking Benjamin. I don't know who the fuck that is, and I'm a DJ. That's terrible. Respect to you.
And you're picking on me.
I know.
Bro.
I'm out of myself. Sorry. Little word association. First thing to come to mind. Substrate.
Reptichip.
Egg box.
Perlite.
Day 60.
Should have already cut.
Milk.
Cookies.
FedEx shipping.
All right.
Instagram trolls.
Bring it.
If you had to get rid of one platform, I'm sorry, let's rewind this. If you had to get rid of one codom forever and just get it out of the game altogether, what codom would it be? Be careful.
Spider.
Damn, that's an easy one, man. God damn it. But also, listen, people need to hear that. I've had to talk to a couple Patreon homies who are trying to they're like getting into that first stage of breeding, and they have some things that are already grown up and ready to go. And I'm like, well, what do you have? And one of them was like, well, I have this. It was kind of a pet, but it's a banana spider. I said, nope, you're not breeding it, bro. Please, you don't want that problem. But anyways, I hope anyone hears that out there. Whoever's brand new, leave the spiders alone. Let them be what they are and not breeders. Bro, amazing podcast. HB, bro, Herbert, we had mad people showing you mad respect. We had well over 80 people in the building, okay? And if you haven't got the likes up, let's get the likes up for my boy Herbert. Herbert, you have any shout-outs to anyone you want to shout out to? And then after that, what do you have to say to everyone who loves and supports you, bro?
Shout out to the people that have helped me. Definitely Will, Justin, Ozzy. Those are my go-tos. I've learned so much from them. You know, just talking to them back and forth, and you know, just good guys in this industry. I appreciate everyone being here tonight. It means a lot to me. It's my first live, so
Oh yeah,
love everybody.
you killed it, bro. Good job.
I appreciate that.
You're gonna get asked to get on now after this, so be ready. And you know,
All right.
you can say no. I'm just kidding. Hey, listen, Herbert. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you being a big fucking. You're an asset to this ball python community, and I know that because how many people were tapping in the chats, how many big players were here to support you. So, kudos to you on that, man. And more importantly, thank you for being a part of the Patreon family. Thank you for being a real true supporter. I see how many times you're tapped in, bro. I see how many times you're one of the early birds in the comments, and I gotta say, people like you are what inspired me to keep going. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Herbert.
Appreciate it, man. Humbled, for sure.
All right. HB Reptiles, ladies and gentlemen. All right, big dog. Have a good night, all right?
All right. Thanks, man.
Peace out. Fucking Herbert. What a guy, man. Thank you so much. All the love, all the super chats. I appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. Again, if you tapped in late, please hit the likes. Let's get the likes up for the homie Herbert. He just murdered this shit. The guy's first podcast, okay? So let's get the likes up. I already see they're hella respectable right now, so I'm not really bitching about the likes. So I'm just saying, if you tapped into this late, get the like up for my man Herbert. Again, thank you for all the love and support, man. Something big going down this Thursday night. Girl power. Who's ready for a powerful ass female? Okay, not like a snake or anything, a snake breeder. Okay, this girl is tapped in with many, many heavy breeders in the game. One in particular, she's very well known for the calendar design that she did for our big homie Justin Kabelka. You guys know who I'm talking about? The homegirl Brittany Gobble from Gobble's Reptiles, going down this Thursday night, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Go down to the link below. Set your reminder. It's going to go down. It's going to be sick. Dude, this girl's investing in some heavy projects. So I'm looking forward to, tapping into her artsy side of her brain, and then obviously seeing what her breeding plans are. And I want to know how connected she is with Justin. I mean, is Justin hooking her up with fucking snakes all the time, or what's really happening? She has a Cosmo project. That's my biggest thing I'm trying to really get my hands on. So I'm stoked. Let's be ready for this Thursday night. Brittany Gobbles, it's going to go down. Again, thank you to all the love and support. Patreon family members, I love you guys so much. You guys are real ones. Have a good night. Be safe. Smoke if you got them. I'm about to get high as shit. I'm out, guys. Have a good night. Cheers.